Hey, what's up YouTube? This is Chris, back with my FRX installed from Riff Raff diesel. I did another video of unboxing my parts, and this is, got it all installed now. So there's the fuel crossover right there. Sorry. You see the return line screws into it. It's a little bit challenging to get the spring in there straight, so they recommend removing your two bolts. Right here is a bolt here and a bolt right there that mounts your fuel bowl, and just take it out of the way, and it gives you a little bit more room. They also recommended taking this return line and maybe zip tying it over to something or bungeeing it so it's not quite in your way and you're not fighting with it as much. So it took me like 2 tries, but once I got it on and tightened it down, I've had no leaks or nothing. So this is the front line, comes up and over, goes down and ties in right there. And I can't really get this out of the way, but you can see the fitting. There, it's a better view. Fittings installed. Put the special sealant on and tighten it down pretty good. Haven't had any leaks or nothing. And then, sorry, my rear line goes underneath the intake Y, or spider as they call it. It goes back to the very back and ties in right there. As you can see, it's right there by the up pipe. That's kind of a pain in the butt because you're really leaning over the car, and when you're tightening down the 90, it kind of wants to spin as you're tightening it. So I kind of had to wedge like a socket or a ratchet in between the turbo and the actual 90, so that way it wouldn't move. And haven't had any leaks or anything back there, thank goodness. So that's probably, I'd say that's the hardest part, just because you're in a weird position. So when I first put it on, I replaced all the banjo bolts. When in the past, the driver's side head gets the fuel from the front, and the passenger side head gets fuel from the rear. So I just bought one set, and I did those two in the past. Well, there's 4 of them. So now that you have fuel returning, I wanted to replace the back driver and the front passenger. Back driver's not very hard. I got to it from underneath the car. But to get to this one and to install this front fitting for the fuel line return, I just took my AC compressor off and the bracket and moved it out of the way, and I just took the bracket completely off. It's like 3 bolts, and it allows you to get to that banjo bolt pretty easy, and to get this plug out that's in the head to install the actual fuel return line. So I'd highly recommend just taking that bracket off. It really makes it a lot easier. So the other thing that I did, well, first I'll just back up a little bit. I installed this, I replaced all the banjo bolts, had them all replaced. I didn't go so far as to replacing these fittings where the hard fuel line comes into. As you can see, the stock ones have a screen. It even has like a little snap ring in there that holds everything inside, so they're pretty restrictive, I understand. So I was kind of getting tired, so I didn't replace these when I installed the banjo bolts and I installed the FRX. And I'll just let you know, just by driving it, I did notice quite a big difference in the way that it ran. Much smoother throttle response. I could tell that it had just better throttle response, which makes you feel like, it's got more power. It does seem to start up a lot smoother too, like a lot quicker. So these fittings here, they go down where your hard line comes in. So, sorry, I'm trying to get good view. Down there where that hard line comes in, this fitting used to be, God dang, what's wrong with my phone? This fitting used to be down there where the black one is. Let's see if I can get down there a little better. So the black ones are just wide open. Put this the sealant on the threads, and then replace your seal here. This is an old one that they give you in the kit. See, as you can tell, this one is kind of boogered up, and you might have to fight it out of that capture nut on the hard line to make sure you get it out. And then the back one, I can't really get to it too well, guys, to show you. You can see where the hard line is down there. That was kind of a pain in the butt too. I just removed my charge air cooler and my map sensor here out of the way, and just, you know, fought it and just got back there to where I could replace it. Replacing this seal was kind of I was kind of worried about dropping it because they only give you 2, but I got it on there and everything got sealed up and tight and no leaks. In my other video, they give you the return springs. There's 3 sets. The gold one is the one they recommend. I can't remember which one gives you the highest pressure, but the gold one is the one I installed. That's the one they recommend. They also give you an O-ring to seal this, and then they give you one of these seals that seals this hard line. So you got to get that old seal out of this nut. But just take your time and make sure you get all the pieces out, and so far it's been a very successful upgrade. I really like that it's a return system now, because when I just did the banjo bolts in the past, and obviously I got, you know, fuel leaked out, it probably took me 50 miles to get all the air out. With this return system, I just cycled my key like 7 or 8 times and filled the fuel bowl, and just got all the air out of the system before I decided to fire it up. And when I hit the key, it fired right up and ran perfect. So if you ever have to get into your fuel system, this return system is cool to have, because you can get all the air out without, you know, having to just, like, you know, force the air through the injector, since it has no way to escape. So that's pretty much all I got, guys. You have a good one. Talk to you later.